Facing the truth. Her mind at ease, Lena is ready to return to her duties. I will not keep you. You and your comrades have much to discuss. I will see the others back to their posts. Okay, that's in the Crystarium. Okay, it doesn't say exactly where he is, and then sometimes they're kind of in the middle of the courtyardy area, which in that case I would have just run from the main Aetheryte, but whatever. But it looks like he's inside the Ocular. Again, this is one of those things, I remember this from Heavensward with the, oh, I don't remember what it's called. You know, it's the fancy name for where all the knights congregate or whatever. And sometimes it tells you one name, and then another time it tells you another, or doesn't even include the name. And I know here sometimes it'll tell you, like, meet, you know, the Crystal Exarch in the Ocular. And then other times here it's just speak with Alphino. An adventurer calling themselves a warrior of light. Why would anyone tie themselves to the legacy of individuals held in such low regard in the first? Warriors of light, harbingers of the flood and all the world's woes. That this wanderer would so boldly claim their title is most curious indeed. From what I remember, Elidibus walking around as Ardbert, obviously, you know, with his schemes is not good for us, but I think it is the catalyst or whatever for giving the Warriors of Light their kind of just due, you know, in reminding the people of the good that they did do. 'Tis strange to think how heroes so beloved by the people could be brought so low in so short a time. Alphino tells me a warrior of light has slain the Sin Eater. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what to make of this. Ah, yes, I was hoping to speak with you about, on second thought, never mind. It would be rude of me to pry. Probably wanting to know what the conversation with Lena was. Something else I was thinking of earlier was, it was kind of cool what they did with the Warriors of Light here on the first, in a way kind of creating a what-if scenario for our character without actually going that route with our character. You know, of like, what if our character had been duped into doing, you know, creating a calamity. So instead of actually doing that, you know, they probably thought this would be an interesting idea, but we don't actually want to do it with the player character. So I just thought of that a while ago and then just remembered that I thought it was kind of a cool thing. Anyway. The others were quite shocked to hear of what we found in Lakeland. But now that you're here, there is a proposal I should like to make. I've been spending a great deal of time in the Cabinet of Curiosity, and of late I have noted more and more people perusing books on history, the years leading up to the Flood in particular. I suspect they wish to know more about the Warriors of Light as well as they should, but nearly everything I've come across describes them as sin eaters or worse. Regardless of whether or not this Warrior of Light is who they claim to be, I worry that their sudden appearance, in conjunction with this renewed interest in their predecessors, may lead to growing unrest and fear. If the people of the Crystarium seek the truth, I say we give it to them. I too can attest to the falsehoods found within full many of the cabinet's tomes, with nary a mention of the noble deeds of Ardbert and his comrades. To be fair, they bear some responsibility for the flood, but when the tale is told again and again over the course of a century, I am not surprised to see their roles distorted and them painted as villains. Were it not for the records stored within the Crystal Tower, I would have had no reason to question the narrative. Records stored within the Crystal Tower? What records would there be about the Warriors of Light in the Crystal Tower, though? I mean, other than maybe just at some point there were some records told of the Warriors of Darkness on the source. Huh. Unfortunately, that knowledge was of no use, for when I arrived here in the first, their reputation had already been irreparably tarnished. That said, there still remain those who worked tirelessly to defend their good name in those early days following the flood. Considering all the good they had done, I find it a wonder they needed defending at all. They brought to justice the man who misused my knowledge to bring about the fall of Urbert. That such heroes could be spoken of in the same breath as Sin Eaters is absurd. Under normal circumstances, I would agree, but as time passed, those who knew firsthand of their deeds dwindled. In the end, only one truth remained, that they were the cause of the flood. Yeah, it's kind of like the one bad deed washes away, 100 good deeds or whatever. And then in this case, it's even the bad deed it was a good deed obscured toward a bad deed because of the circumstances and the fact that the circumstances, I think, were not accurately passed on. With the world on the brink of oblivion, it was all too easy for the Warriors of Light to become villains, deserving only of resentment and hate. At that point, the truth mattered little. It would not change their lot. Thanks to all of you, however, their lot has changed, and now they may heed the long-forgotten truth. You claimed it was Ardbert who helped you overcome Emmett Selk, correct? Such a revelation would do well to sway the hearts of those who knew him only as a villain. I have shared this with a select few, but one and all must be told of his sacrifice. Hells yes, he deserves it. To that end, I say we proceed with Alphanos' plan. We call together the people of the Crystarium and recount to them the true tale of the Warriors of Light and the flood that followed in their wake. Well, what say you, Lavenza? Spread the word, I say. I wish we had done this sooner. Yeah. In hindsight, I agree, but better late than never, no? Exarch, might I ask you to continue working with Beck-Lug on our means of returning home? The rest of us will see to gathering the people of the Crystarium in the etc. We have to reach out to anyone and everyone who might be willing to lend an ear. With any luck, word will spread, and more will accompany them. There can be no darkness without light. So it was that Ardbert was there in your hour of need. The people must be told. I have seen many a great and terrible thing in my long life, as has the Exarch, no doubt. Of man I can say this, his memory is short, his heart fickle. Let us pray that your words reach them. Okay, well they're spread out quite a bit. Yeah, I'll hit up the pendants and then work my way north, I guess. Well, well, to what do I owe the pleasure? Whatever it is, I must ask you be brief. With the night return, visitors have been flocking to the Crystarium, and I find myself too busy by half. I don't mind it, though. Seeing the stairs so full of life and excitement, one can almost forget the flood ever happened. The Warriors of Light? Yes, the Exarch has mentioned them before, but everyone knows them now as the cardinal virtues. Or are you suggesting there's more to it than that? Well, you've yet to steer us wrong, so I'm willing to hear what you have to say. Let's see what she has to say about this. Welcome to your home away from home, the Wandering Stairs, where we serve the finest ale you'll find this side of the Crystarium, courtesy of the facet of nourishing, of course. And that's it. I wonder if this is where... This might be where we hear from her. Because I remember there's a cutscene, I think toward the end of a patch. It's probably this patch. Where somebody will come to your inn room to talk to you. And if you've actually completed all of the role quests, she'll be the one, I think, to come talk to you. Come to browse wares in the market, have you? Well, I can guarantee you'll have no trouble finding what you need, whatever it may be. Under Yulmore's new leadership, trade has never been more prosperous. Word is that fellow from Daedalus Stoneworks has taken over as mayor. Did he really? Little wonder business is booming the way it is. I imagine it won't be long before all of Norvrent reaps the benefits. But you've not come to talk about the market. Something on your mind? I see. The Exarch did mention they had something to do with your returning... Did mention, yeah, they had something to do with your returning the knight to Norvrent. Alright, consider my interest piqued. Okay, that's at the mean, so I think I'll work now from the north toward south. Well, well, what a coincidence. I was just reading over a letter I received from Granault not long ago. Oh. He says a visitor from the Crystarium found him at the bottom of the ocean, and that she inspired him to reach new artistic heights. Well, I can only think of one person capable of both feats, though I'd say the latter is far more impressive. To think fate could bring the two of you together in such a place. I'm sorry? You mean the Exarch didn't tell us the whole story of the Warriors of Light? Well, whatever he's left unsaid, I'm all ears. And then the last one is in, what is it called? Spagarix or something? Lavenza, my, what a wonderful surprise. Though I hope your being here doesn't mean someone's been hurt. Thanks to you, I've had far fewer patients coming through my door of late. Which is a shame, come to think of it. I've had fewer opportunities to test my new medicines. I jest, of course. It's actually been quite pleasant to have a few moments to myself now and again. The truth about the Warriors of Light, but the Exarch has already spoken with me about them. Well, if there's more to the tale, I'd very much like to hear it. Oh, geez, I missed... Oh, okay, and then, yeah. Yeah, if anybody's going to want to know more about anything, it's Morin. No, this can't be. Surely there's at least one book here that does not cast the Warriors of Light and their deeds in such a negative light. Oh, Lavenza, forgive me. The Cabinet of Curiosity has been bustling with visitors of late, but I fear our repository lacks for the knowledge they seek. The people wish to know the truth of the flood, of the Warriors of Light. I have searched high and low, but alas, every account portrays them as no better than sin-eaters, abominations worthy only of scorn and resentment. I know they were not always judged so harshly, yet I can find no proof, and I dare call myself a librarian. You would address the people and tell them the truth of the Warriors of Light? Of the Flood? How wonderful. You have regaled me with the tale once before, but I should love to hear it again. Oh, and you may be assured I will not come alone. And then if I remember correctly, during this speech or whatever is when Elidibus pops back up. Actually, where... Okay, just out in the middle, but I think the gate looks to be actually closer on the map. Those I spoke with at the orchard and the rookery were quite keen to hear what we have to say. For as much hope as they have for the future, the scars of the past weigh heavy on them still. 'Tis good to see the people of the Crystarium so eager to learn the truth. And with this newfound knowledge of the past, they will at last be able to look to the future with eyes unclouded. And then... the others here are just other players. There you are. Between the four of us, I dare say we've swept the Crystarium from top to bottom. Now we need but wait for the people to gather. I think it's safe to say this is voice acted. I don't recall if it's still set to auto advance or...
Yes, this looks to be nearly everyone. Let us begin, shall we? Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
They would be more inclined to take the word of the Warrior of Darkness.
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak these truths?
God, you had to tell that story too. God, I love that scene.
Wicked White? The Warriors of Light did all that?
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls. And they managed it too, in the end. They saved us. And we cursed their names.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air.
Yep, there he is.
Impossible.
You can see him too? I take it I'm not imagining this then.
I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
Nay, yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both. Ardbert.
What in the world?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
That it should be the Warrior of Darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time, though I have a few words of my own to say, if I may. People of the Crystarium, I am Ardbert, one of those you know as a Warrior of Light.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass. The hero who stands before you now, the Warrior of Darkness, is not of this world. And the day will come when she must return to her home. But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it. The time to rely on saviors from afar has passed. It is you who must rise. You who must become the new warriors of light.
What? Us? Warriors of Light?
None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure. But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony. Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired unto the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
Go. I will stay here and watch.
I mean, we've seen an Ascian and a dead body before, so it should be a pretty quick answer to come to.
So, that is a warrior of light of the first. I've not had the pleasure of making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
Nope. Because he's in us. Well, you see, no, absolutely not. It looks like him and sounds like him, but it isn't him. I mean, both kind of say the same. I mean, yeah, they both say the same thing, so I don't know. I think the second one would lead people toward, you know, that Ascian in somebody else's body. Looks like him, sounds like him.
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin-eater he is not. Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
That he is an Ascian.
Yep, that's always the answer to every unexplained.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I would have to agree. From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes. Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the Virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus. That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known. Thus evicted from his borrowed form, and cognizant no doubt of Emet-Selk's failure here in the First, 'tis quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen. My, that is unsavory. And they do this often, you say?
Yep.
Verily, for they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the Echo can perceive them. Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Minfilia and the Warrior of Light. On that occasion, I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure. 'Twas only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
And they have gained much by it. Emet-Selk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while the Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion. Mayhap the blessing of light shieldeth Hydaelyn's chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap other forces are at work. We cannot say for certain.
Whatever the reason, I hope it holds true. I dare not contemplate what might come to pass otherwise.
Is it not peculiar, then, that Ardbert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps?
That's likely
Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark. When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary. I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe as either wise or prudent. Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful. Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat. And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only serve to confuse the people. And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more, nor yours by association. That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
His performance appears to have concluded. What now? Go back out and follow him?
It would appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and I suspect one pair of eyes shall better serve our cause than half a dozen. Let the rest of us maintain an inconspicuous distance, for the present at least.
God, I look forward to 5.3. It's just such a good story. And obviously the actual end to Shadowbringers, so. Thank you for watching this video. Tonight we finished up 5.2, and it was, I mean, as good as, you know, Shadowbringers is. It's just really good. And this one had really good reveals at the beginning and at the end of it. So yeah, it's so enjoyable, so good. There's really not much else that needs to be said. But yeah, I mean, we're coming up on the end. You know, only 3 more patches to go, kind of 3.5. But it's all been good, and I look forward to finishing this off, and then, of course, getting into Endwalker when that comes out in a few months. But as much as I enjoyed this, I hope you all have as well. And if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to come join me in whatever adventure I happen to be on, the link to my Twitch is in the description down below. So thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a good one.